Good morning, friends. I hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and if you're being kept in a glass cage by the guy named Joe Goldberg, blink twice.
Me for somebody else. Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself.
Today, I present to you my You Season 2 review. This is mostly going to be me ranting about the series, but yeah, let's start, I guess. This is sequel to You, stars Penn Badgley and other people I don't remember. It's also an adaptation from Hidden Bodies, which is a book that I haven't read yet because I probably hate it. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to you about that. So if you haven't seen season 1 or season 2 of this series, first of all, why are you watching this video? Maybe you just want me to see a rant about it. And 2, if you haven't seen it, maybe you should stay and watch me blabber about things that may or may not make sense. Yeah, so long story short, I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my... To be vague, I thought that it was confusingly predictable. Two things that I have never thought that in my life I would use together. Confusing and predictable. Many things were confusing and many things were predictable, which made this season very, very messy. To be vague, it follows the same structure as season 1, but this time it's placed in another city, aka LA, has different characters and a lot less GMO. I can definitely compare certain characters to previous ones. For example, 40 and Benji, they're basically the same person with different dynamics. 40 is the sister to the main love interest, Love, while Benji was the ex-boyfriend of the last main love interest, who was Becky. The difference is last time they were in a relationship and this time they're siblings. They each complement each other well, but terribly at the same time, because they each they have a toxic relationship with each other, and they shouldn't probably be together, but they keep being together for different reasons. There's this guy who works at the bookstore. He's kind of a psychopath. I mean, he's probably a sociopath. I don't know. I don't have a degree in psychology. Then he falls in love with a girl. Then there's the kid from a damaged family that surprisingly is neighbors with Joe, or Will, or what's the other name he uses again? I don't remember. Then that damaged kid from a family also has another family member looking out for them. On the topic of predictability, I honestly got bored halfway through. By episode 6, I just turned on my TV and used it as background music. Although I used it as background music, I still grasped a lot of details and things around it because it didn't have anything else to do. Well, actually, I did have something else to do. I drew pictures of Victor from Yuri on Ice. I just finished that anime and I'm still sober from it. I think I'm gonna rewatch it immediately after I film this video. We don't know. Yeah, I am definitely going to base my whole personality on Yuri Katsuki for the next 6 months because I didn't have one in the first place. Much like Love, honestly. She was kind of bland at the start. So let's start with Love, with my character analyses. I still have mixed feelings about her after finishing it, but good God was she a messy character. They first meet at the supermarket where they both eventually work together in, and they start talking about how peaches look like butts. This is kind of cute. I mean, somebody should call Elio because finally there's someone else that's feeling the same way as him. Then they flirt a bit and they start working together. Joe got this job because he started sucking up people's asses, that it's making me realize that he might be bisexual. He uses Crime and Punishment to suck up the person's ass, which is cute, except when you realize that his story isn't paragonable. Is that a word? I don't fucking know. To Crime and Punishment, because you realize that he doesn't actually regret killing the people he murdered, when the whole thing about Crime and Punishment is that he feels bad about what he did. So let's move on from that. So let's start with the location. Los Angeles, California. Oh, sweet LA, you breeding ground for fake ass bitches. It starts with a shot of what looks like Hannah's dead on the street, which pans out to Joe casually just walking around because it's LA and people shoot their own indie films, whatever they want to, which I guess was a very LA thing to see? I don't know. He starts working in the organic cafe slash market slash bookstore where he gets paid lower than minimum wage. I researched this because I was sure that $12 wasn't enough of a wage. The minimum wage is $14 from my research. He gets paid 12. Like, what the fuck? He gets paid less than minimum wage so he can easily stalk the love of his life. For the third attempt, by the way. The first one, we're gonna get to it, is back from the dead. The second one is dead. And the third one is a terrible person. Then his boss is also a jerk who turns out to be Love's twin brother, so he gotta suck up to his ass too. He's also another interesting person. He thinks he's all that, except he's not really. His family is also connected to the LA police department, but it's kind of useless because they're white. But y'all ain't ready for that conversation. By the way, I'm jumping episodes and details, but who cares about structure? I'm just realizing that this is a shit review. Next, we have the Chi sisters, who are next door neighbors with Joe, Delilah and Ellie. These are also kind of interesting characters because they first act like basic LA people who talk like this and drink like 15 frappuccinos, and then they have insomnia because of Starbucks. They first act like that, but then they have their own personalities, but then they don't, so it's kind of confusing. Next is Henderson. He's a very popular comedian that has sexually abused both sisters, but thankfully, due to Joe killing this comedian, the younger sister Ellie doesn't actually get taken advantage of in the same way that her sister Delilah was sexually abused by Henderson. Which was like a kind of cool moment for Joe to do, but then you realize that he saves these two people by killing Henderson so he can feel better about himself, because at the end, these two sisters, one of them dead. Because of what? Joe. But Joe doesn't kill her, but it's still Joe's fault. Then the second, he cuts away from his life. What was the point of that thing? And also, this arc of the series is kind of iffy for me because I'm not really the one to talk about this stuff. Maybe it's because of the issue that's being dealt with, which is child abuse and pedophilia. I don't know about you, but it's kind of a recurring thing in Hollywood that things like this always happen, where people with higher positions like directors or executive producers take advantage of minors and sexually abuse them in exchange for a 5-second appearance in a Disney Channel TV show. Then with pedophilia, there's a lot of things about that too, but I don't really feel comfortable making too many jokes about that, except for Drake though, because that is universally known. Yeah, Drake probably could have been friends with Henderson. They probably, oh god, now it's making me realize that maybe Drake has a similar thing going on. If Drake is gonna commit suicide, we already know what's happening behind the scenes. I doubt that this isn't accurate. There's also other people who commit these awful crimes. Some of them commit suicide, leaving these images on their laptop. I don't remember his name, but he's a guy from Glee, and I'd rather keep it this way so I don't have the name of a pedophile in my head. Yeah, let's move forward from that. I mean, it wasn't necessary for him to kill him, but good for him for reducing the amount of pedophiles and improv artists from this world. So I salute you for that, Joe. Then we have Will. Ooh boy. He's the person that Joe steals his identity from. He's a hacker that Joe met through Craigslist. And he's hoping to get together with a Filipina and move to Manila, which was kind of a cute story. A classic Rafi Tulfo viral video. She's definitely not going to drain his wallet and emotionally manipulating him into giving her a visa and divorce him. But yeah, but it seems like he's integrating to the Filipino culture, saying a few Tagalog phrases. He lives in Manila when we see him again. Yeah, he's doing well. I mean, I don't think that he's upset with his life, but him getting with a Filipino woman he has never met before, I'm just hoping that he doesn't get scammed, honestly, because I've seen too many videos for this to not happen. He also makes fake identity cards for a living and is dealing drugs, but I mean, with the upcoming election in the Philippines, I'm sure he'll be fine. The whole thing with Joe's pinky being detached was also kind of confusing. Like, I don't know if he still has his pinky by the end of it, or he doesn't anymore, then he has one pinky less. Yeah. I didn't pay much attention from that. Moved to Love's previous relationship with her dead husband. Again, great representation. Relative could never. His illness was also not explored, which was kind of disappointed by, and I felt that it was kind of lazy. It's lazy writing off the only disabled person, then you give them a mysterious disease. I mean, you could have given a disease to some other person, but I mean, kind of tragic. He's also kind of just there so Love can have trauma and deal with grief. Yeah. Then we have Candace, as I've mentioned before. It was first interesting when you realize that, oh, he's not that great of a serial killer. I mean, he could have easily slit his throat, decapitate him, do shit to her, but he just buries her. I mean, good for her, but then I just read The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter, and a similar thing happens in there, so that didn't surprise me that she survived. It gets interesting. She sometimes is calculating and scheming shit from behind the scenes, but then out of nowhere she acts like such a dumb character. I mean, there's so many moments where she could have easily, 1, killed Joe, or 2, put him to jail, but since she's so stuck with this idea that she wants to prove that Joe is a bad person and that she's not making this all up, she doesn't act as active as I want her to. Then she eventually gets killed by Love because she's also a psychopath. I mean, in those, I don't know, 10 minutes, she could probably have called the cops and nothing would have happened to her, and Joe could have probably have gone to jail, but that didn't happen because she was dumb as shit. By the way, if you find a secret dungeon by someone you know, don't start reorganizing shit as if you're posting for Instagram, because Delilah probably could have lived if she wasn't concerned with the composition of the books that he was taking pictures of. Also, she could probably have taken pictures quickly with that iPhone. Bitch, you could have taken so many pictures in so little time. I don't know about you, but that was kind of pointless. I don't know, I'm just ranting at this point and not reviewing, but you're welcome. Last but not least, the romance. Oh, the shitty romance. It was cute when you realize that they're both yanderes that would do anything for their love. But then at the end you realize that season 3 is probably gonna be about Joe cheating on her. Literally, dude, we spent 9 fucking hours just for you to fucking cheat at the end? What is wrong with you? Except for like the murder and stuff like that. I mean, mommy issues, we already know that. Oh wait, now I realize it kind of ties up because his mom used to cheat on his dad. Now he's cheating on Love. I mean, oh god, you know?
I have a god and a mind. I have the mind of a mastermind. I have the mind of a mastermind, you know?
I'm not going to talk about the drugs until I myself can experience LSD. So now I gotta say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this rant review. If you didn't like it, kiss my ass.